My friend, you think rich people have more time. That is a lie. They do not have more hours. They have better rules. They build wealth because they control cash flow with a calendar, and they protect their best minutes like assets. Poor habits look small, but they create debt in your mind, debt in your energy, and debt in your future. Stay until the end, and you will learn the time rules that can grow your English and your life at the same time. Welcome to English Story Studio. Here, you train two things together, your English and your inner discipline. Calm mind, clear rules, hard truth. Maybe you feel busy all day. Maybe you answer messages, check your phone, open apps, read small news, do little tasks, and then the day ends. You are tired, but nothing real is built. This pain is common. Many people think they have a motivation problem. The truth is more serious. They have an architecture problem. Their day has no leader. Today we will speak about time like rich people speak about money, not with emotion, with rules. First, we will see why reacting to the day keeps you small. Then we will enter the sacred morning block, where real assets begin. After that, we will face a hard truth about busy work and fear. Then we will talk about energy, not only effort. Then we will learn why rest is not weakness. And at the end, we will study leverage, the art of making 1 hour pay you twice. So let us begin with the first rule. Reacting is for the crowd. Leading is for builders. When many people wake up, they do not wake up to their own life. They wake up to other people's demands. A message, a notification, a video, a news alert, a little red number on a screen. The phone speaks first, and the mind obeys. This looks normal, but normal is often a trap. The first minutes of your morning are not small. They are expensive. Your mind is fresh. Your will is clean. Your attention is strong. This is premium mental cash. But many people give it away for free. They open the phone in bed. They scroll. They react. They compare. They consume. Then they wonder why they feel weak before breakfast. My friend, a person who checks the phone first thing is training one message into the brain. I do not lead. I answer. I do not build. I react. I do not choose. I follow. That is not a small habit. That is an identity. Think about Jake. Jake is not lazy. He works hard. He wakes up at 6:30. Good start, right? But before his feet touch the floor, his thumb touches the screen. He checks group chats. He checks email. He checks market news, not because he has real investments, but because it makes him feel important. Then he sees a short video. Then another. 12 minutes pass. Maybe 20. His body is awake, but his mind now belongs to the world. At 900, Jake says he is behind. At 100, he says the day is crazy. At 900, at night, he says he had no time for his real goals. No, he had time. He lost command. Now think about Emma. Emma also wakes up early. Her phone is in another room. She does not begin with noise. She begins with silence. She drinks water. She sits down. She looks at one page with one question. What must be built today? Not what must be answered. Not what feels urgent. What must be built? That one question changes the whole day. Emma may still have a job. She may still have emails. She may still have family duties. But before the world enters her mind, she chooses a direction. This is leadership. Quiet leadership. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just clear. Rich people understand something the crowd always forgets. A day is not won by speed. A day is won by order. If your attention is stolen early, the rest of the day becomes repair work. You spend hours fixing the damage from a weak morning. Stop. Be honest. What did you touch first this morning? your purpose, or your phone? What did you feed first today? Your future or your distraction? Check your screen time. Check it with courage. The numbers do not lie. Many people say they want wealth, but their screen time shows worship of entertainment. That is the truth. Please hear me well. The phone is not evil. The lie is different. The lie is this: I can start with noise and still create a strong day. For most people, that is false. Very false. Your first contact shapes your first emotion. Your first emotion shapes your first decision. Your first decisions shape your identity for that day, and days become years. This is why reacting keeps people poor. Not only poor in money, poor in focus, poor in peace, poor in self-respect. So what should replace reaction? Rule 2. The sacred morning block. The wealthy protect the first strong part of the day for one thing only: asset building. Asset building means work that can improve your future. It can be learning a high-value skill. It can be writing. It can be building a business. It can be studying sales, coding, design, language, marketing, or finance. It can be planning a product. It can be recording content. It can be making something that still has value after today ends. This is different from maintenance work. Maintenance work keeps life moving. Asset work moves life forward. The sacred morning block should be 90 minutes. Not 10 minutes. Not when I feel ready. 90 minutes. A real block. A protected block. A serious block. Why 90 minutes? Because it is long enough to go deep. In the first 10 minutes, your mind is still warming up. In 20 minutes, you begin to focus. Around 40 or 50 minutes, real thinking often begins. Around 70 minutes, many people finally stop resisting. 90 minutes gives your best self time to appear, but the rule is strict. This block is for asset building only. No email, no chat, no cleaning your inbox and calling it progress. No, let me just check one thing. No fake planning for 40 minutes. No moving tasks around on a calendar to feel productive. Only building. Ryan wanted to start an online service business. Every morning he sat at his desk, but he did not build the offer. He changed file names. He watched videos about productivity. He made a logo too early. He read comments from strangers. He called this work. It was not work. It was avoidance with good clothes. Then he changed one rule. For 90 minutes each morning, he had to do one action that could create money later. Contact a client. Write the offer. Improve the service. Learn one useful skill and use it the same day. In 6 months, his mornings looked small from the outside, but they changed his income. That is how wealth often starts. Quietly, repeatedly, without applause. Your sacred block does not need to be perfect. It must be protected. Maybe you wake at 5:30, maybe 6, maybe 7. The exact time matters less than the rule. The rule is simple. Before the world rents your brain, you must invest it in your own future. And yes, this is hard. It is hard because real building forces truth. In real building, you cannot hide. You see your skill level. You see your fear. You see your excuses. That is why people run to small tasks. Small tasks feel safe. Real building feels dangerous. We will go deeper into that truth next, because busy work is often not work at all. It is fear wearing a tie. But before we move on, remember this sentence and keep it close today. The rich do not simply manage time. They give their best hours a job. Ask yourself tonight, did my best hour build an asset or did it disappear into noise? That question can change a life. Yesterday we set the rule. Do not give your first strong minutes to reaction. Give them to building. We also entered the sacred morning block, the protected 90 minutes where your future gets real attention. Now we need to continue, because a rule is easy to hear and hard to obey. Why? Because the real enemy is not always laziness. Many times, it is fear. The truth is simple, my friend. Your busy work may look respectable, but often it is only a hiding place. Let us say this clearly. There are two kinds of work. One kind keeps the machine moving. The other kind builds a better machine. The first kind feels urgent. The second kind feels risky. The first kind gives quick relief. The second kind gives slow reward. Most people choose relief. That is why so many days feel full and empty at the same time. Olivia worked all day on her laptop. At least that is what she said. She answered messages fast. She kept her inbox clean. She joined meetings. She took notes. She updated small documents. She made color changes on slides. She watched 3 videos about becoming more productive. At night, she felt tired. And tired feels honest. But tired is not always progress. When Olivia looked at the week with courage, she saw the truth. She had not created one new offer. She had not improved one valuable skill. She had not published one piece of content. She had not made one brave call. She had not faced the work that could change her income. She stayed busy because busy felt safe. Busy work is attractive because it protects the ego. Real building can reject you. You may write and see that your writing is weak. You may sell and hear no. You may code and find many mistakes. You may study English and hear your own limits. You may start a business idea and learn that the market does not care yet. This hurts. So the mind creates a clever lie. I'm still working. Yes, you are working. But on what? This is the twist. Many hard-working people are not escaping effort. They are escaping exposure. They do not fear work. They fear judgment. They fear proof. They fear the moment when reality speaks back. So they choose low-risk tasks with high emotional comfort. They organize folders. They clean desktops. They rewrite to-do lists. They compare apps. They watch productivity content for 3 hours. They read one more article before starting. They tell themselves they are preparing. Sometimes preparation is wise, but endless preparation is cowardice with a clean shirt. Stop. Be honest. Look at yesterday. What was the most important thing you avoided? Was it writing the proposal? Sending the message? Recording the lesson? Studying the hard skill? Looking at your bank account? Making the budget? Asking for the sale? Tell the truth. The task you avoid most is often the door to your next level. Jake learned this in a painful way. He wanted to freelance as a video editor. He had enough skill to begin, not to be perfect, but enough to begin. Yet every morning he found new reasons not to contact clients. First, his portfolio was not ready. Then his website was not clean enough. Then he needed a better profile picture. Then he wanted a better desk. Then he watched successful freelancers explain mindset. Weeks passed, then months. One day, his friend asked him a hard question. How many offers did you send this month? Jake was silent. That silence was truth. He was not building a freelance business. He was building a comfort zone around his fear. This is why the sacred morning block matters so much. It removes choice. It removes your favorite escape. The block asks only one question. What action builds the asset? Not what action makes you feel active. Not what action helps you avoid discomfort. What action builds the asset? That question cuts through the lie. You may be thinking, but I really am busy. I have a job. I have children. I have duties. Yes, I respect that. Life is heavy. This is not about fantasy. This is about honesty. Even in a heavy life, many people still lose strong minutes to weak behavior. Not because life is impossible, because truth is uncomfortable. If your life is full, then your important hours become even more sacred. Listen carefully. The poor person and the wealthy person can both feel busy. Busy is not the difference. Direction is the difference. One person uses busyness as proof of value. The other uses results. Rich people do not worship movement. They worship return. That is why a wealthy mind asks different questions. Does this task create value later? Does this task increase skill? Does this task reduce future stress? Does this task build an asset? Does this task matter 1 week from now? If the answer is no, then maybe it should not enter your best hour. This is not cold. This is clean. Many people are drowning because they cannot separate activity from importance. They treat every request like a fire. They answer fast. They react with pride. They become useful to everyone except themselves. Then they wonder why their own dream stays weak. My friend, not every open tab deserves your life. Here is a simple way to see the difference. Busy work often has these signs. It is easy to start. It creates the feeling of control. It gives quick completion. It can be done in a distracted state. It usually helps the present moment only. Builder work has different signs. It is harder to begin. It requires focus. It often feels slow at first. It can expose your weakness. It may not reward you today, but it improves your future. One kind feeds your image. The other kind feeds your reality. Emma understood this when she tried to start teaching online. She told herself she was building. But every day she spent more time choosing colors for her slides than creating actual lessons. She was making things look ready, because being ready felt safer than being seen. Then she changed her morning rule. In her 90-minute block, the first 60 minutes had to produce something visible. A lesson outline, a recorded sample, a teaching post, a client message. No decoration before production. This felt uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort was proof she had left the hiding place. Within 3 months, she had more simple lessons, more confidence, and her first paying students. Not because she became magical. Because she stopped hiding inside nice-looking work. There is a deep lesson here. Fear rarely says, "I am fear." Fear speaks in smarter language. I need more time. I need the perfect plan. I should learn a little more first. I will start when life gets calm. I work better under pressure. These sentences sound reasonable, but many times they are lies. Truth sounds different. I am afraid to be seen. I am afraid to fail in public. I am afraid my work is not good enough. I am afraid that if I try hard and still fail, I will have no excuse. Now we are getting somewhere. Because once truth enters the room, power enters too. You cannot defeat a lie you still call logic. This is also why English learning and life growth are close friends. In both, you must accept sounding weak before sounding strong. You must be willing to be simple before becoming skillful. You must stop hiding. Many learners stay in passive comfort. They read small things. They watch easy videos. They avoid speaking. Why? Same reason. Exposure. Proof. Truth. 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 But growth only comes when you let reality teach you. So what do you do tomorrow morning when the block begins and fear appears? First, name the real build task before sleep. Do not decide in the morning. Morning is for action, not debate. Then, make the task smaller but real. Not build my business. Too vague. Better. Write one sales message. Design one offer page. Record one lesson. Study one tool and use it. Finally, finish one meaningful output before you touch low-value tasks. Output first. Admin later. This order matters. Always. Because once you spend your courage on little tasks, the big task becomes heavier. Courage is strongest when the day is clean. Stop. Be honest. What have you been calling work that is really fear? Look at your desk. Look at your browser. Look at your notes. How much of your effort is true building and how much is emotional hiding? Your future is waiting for a real answer. Here's another harsh truth. Nobody is coming to save you. No perfect boss. No perfect course. No perfect mood. No perfect morning. No perfect app. The adult life begins when you stop asking for the perfect condition and start building under honest conditions. This does not mean rushing. It means refusing to hide. We are now standing at an important point. First, do not react. Second, protect the sacred block. Third, do not confuse busy work with building. But even if you understand all this, one more problem can still destroy your day. You may sit at the desk and force yourself through tasks with dead energy. You may measure only hours, not quality. And that is another trap, because wealthy people do not only manage time, they manage energy. That is where we go next. We have already seen two enemies of wealth. First, reaction. Second, fear hiding inside busy work. Now we meet the next truth. You can protect your morning. You can choose the right task, but if your energy is broken, you will still waste the day. Many people think success is about working more hours. That is only half true. Hours matter, yes. Discipline matters, yes. But the quality of your hours matters too. One clear hour can beat 4 weak hours. One focused mind can do what a tired mind cannot touch. This is why wealthy builders learn to work on their life, not only in it. Working in your life means staying inside the machine all day. You answer, you repair, you react, you keep things moving. It feels useful, but it keeps you trapped at the same level. Working on your life means stepping back and asking stronger questions. Where does my energy go? What time of day is my mind strongest? What people drain me? What habits protect me? What tasks deserve my prime energy? What systems reduce chaos tomorrow? Poor thinking says, I just need to push harder. Rich thinking says, I must place my best energy where return is highest. That is a very different life. Think about Ryan again. He had discipline. He sat at the desk every day. But by afternoon, he was dead inside. He drank more coffee. He opened more tabs. He forced himself to continue. He told himself this was grit. Sometimes it was grit, but often it was poor design. He gave easy tasks to his best hours and hard tasks to his weak hours. He used his morning on inbox work, updates, small replies, and planning. Then at 3 p.m., halfward, when his energy was already low, he tried to do strategy, writing, and business building. He blamed himself for weak results, but the real problem was not character, it was placement. His best energy was paying low-value bills. This happens everywhere. A person wakes with a strong mind and spends that gift on social media, news, chat, and admin. Then later they try to create, learn, sell, or solve deep problems with the broken pieces of the day. And when they fail, they say, I need motivation. No. You need respect for your own energy. Energy is not magic. It is not only feelings. It comes from the body, the mind, and the environment. Sleep matters. Food matters. Movement matters. Stress matters. Light matters. Noise matters. The people around you matter. Even your physical room matters. A messy room does not always destroy success. But chaos around you often becomes chaos inside you. Emma learned this when she noticed a pattern. Her mornings were calm and powerful. Her evenings were emotional and weak. But she kept putting important study at night because she thought morning was better for easy work. This was backwards. She gave her gold to sand and her sand to gold. Then she changed the rule. Morning for creation, midday for meetings and admin, evening for review, reading, and rest. This was not dramatic, but it changed everything. Her stress dropped. Her output improved. Her self-trust returned. Why? Because she stopped fighting her own design. My friend, many people live as if all hours are equal. That is a lie. A strong hour and a weak hour are not brothers. They do not carry the same weight. Your calendar should know this. If your mind is strongest from 6:30 to 9, then protect that window like money. If your body wakes slowly but your focus peaks from 9 tells to 11 thous, then build there. If your energy crashes after lunch, do not schedule your most valuable thinking there. Use that time for lighter tasks, walking, errands, and simple replies. This is not softness. This is intelligent war, because life is a battle for attention, and you must place your strongest soldiers where the fight matters most. Stop. Be honest. When are you truly sharp? Not when do you wish to be sharp. When are you actually strong? Look at the last 7 days. When did you do your best work? When did you avoid hard tasks? When did your screen time rise? When did sugar, noise, or stress control you? Look at the pattern. Your body is giving you data. Most people ignore it. Another lie is this: if I feel tired, I should just keep pushing. Sometimes yes, but not always. There is a kind of tiredness that comes from noble effort. You work deeply. You solve real problems. You create. You stretch. This tiredness can be healthy, but there's another tiredness. It comes from friction, confusion, and overreaction. Too many tabs. Too many decisions. Too much phone use. Too much context switching. Too many small fires. This tiredness does not build you. It drains you. Rich people study that difference. A weak person says, "I am tired." A builder asks, "What kind of tired?" That question can save years. If your tiredness comes from deep work, rest with honor. If your tiredness comes from chaos, remove chaos. These are not the same medicine. Jake discovered this after months of feeling burned out. He thought he needed a long break, but when he looked carefully, he saw something else. He was not doing too much real work. He was doing too much broken work. He was switching tasks every 10 minutes. He was checking his phone between edits. He was consuming negative news at lunch. He was sleeping late. He was starting the day in reaction. His brain was not burned by effort. It was cut into pieces by distraction. So he made simple changes. He moved the phone away during work. He took a short walk after lunch. He stopped using late-night videos as his reward. He gave his first work block to one hard task. He kept one paper list, not 12 digital reminders. Small changes. Strong return. This is what it means to work on your life. You do not only ask, "What do I need to do?" You also ask, "What supports the person who must do it?" That is wisdom. Now let us move into the next rule, because this one shocks many people. The stop work ritual. Most poor thinking treats rest like waste. Most rich thinking treats rest like fuel. This does not mean laziness. It does not mean escape. It means recovery with purpose. The crowd likes a proud sentence. I worked until midnight. It sounds serious. It sounds hungry. It sounds like sacrifice. But many times it is not strength. It is poor control. A person who cannot stop working is often not in power. They are being dragged by unfinished thoughts. The wealthy understand that endless work can lower tomorrow's return. They stop in order to come back stronger. They know the mind needs closure. The body needs rhythm. The nervous system needs peace. Without a stop work ritual, the day never ends. Your body may leave the desk, but your mind stays there. You eat with stress. You talk with stress. You sleep with stress. You wake half-used. Then you try to build wealth with a damaged engine. That is not discipline. That is leakage. Olivia learned this the hard way. She always worked a little more. One more email. One more correction. One more check. But the extra hour at night was low quality. And worse, it stole the next morning. She slept with a busy brain. She woke dull. Her sacred block became weaker. She was borrowing from tomorrow to pay for weak work today. That is a bad trade. A stop work ritual is a clean ending. It tells the mind the day is complete. We did enough. We know what comes next. Now recover. This can be simple. Review what was done. Write the first important task for tomorrow. Close tabs. Clean the desk. Turn off the work light. Step away. Same order, same signal, day after day. The body learns. The mind trusts. Stress drops. You're teaching yourself a powerful truth. Rest is not what happens after life. Rest is part of the system that builds life. My friend, poor people often spend rest like escape. Rich people use rest like repair. One leads to guilt. The other leads to strength. This does not mean every evening is perfect. Life is real. Some days are messy. Some seasons are heavy. But the rule remains. Stop on purpose. Do not simply collapse. Nobody is coming to save you. So you must protect the machine that carries you. And that machine is not only your calendar. It is your body, your mind, your sleep, your attention, your inner weather. In the next part, we will go deeper into the stop work ritual and then enter the final big rule, leverage over labor. This is where time begins to multiply. This is where 1 hour can keep paying after it ends. So ask yourself tonight, before the lights go off, did I spend my energy like a poor person chasing noise, or like a builder guarding a future? The last idea was simple but powerful. Rest is not the enemy of wealth. Uncontrolled work is. A builder does not only know how to begin, a builder also knows how to stop. So let us go deeper. Many people end the day the same way they begin it. In reaction, in noise, in weakness. They do not choose an ending. They drift into one. The laptop stays open. The phone stays near. The mind keeps chewing the same problems. There is no line between work and life. There is only blur. Blur is expensive. A strong life needs edges. When the wealthy use a stop work ritual, they are not being soft. They are protecting tomorrow's sharpness. They know a human being is not a machine with endless output. Even machines need maintenance. Even strong engines need cooling. Even athletes need recovery. But the modern worker often acts like a hero while living like a victim. That must stop. Stop. Be honest. Do you really finish work? Or do you just fade out? Do you choose a closing time? Or does your energy simply die? Look at your evening. Look at your sleep. Look at how often you say, I will just do one more thing. That sentence has stolen years from people. One more thing becomes 1 more hour. 1 more hour becomes 1 weaker morning. 1 weaker morning becomes 1 lost week. This is how small disorder becomes a poor life. A stop work ritual gives your mind a clean wall. Work ends here. Life continues there. Without that wall, every room becomes a workplace, and every moment becomes half stress. You cannot think deeply in the morning if your brain never truly left yesterday. Ryan finally built his ritual after a season of hidden exhaustion. He told people he was grinding. He told himself he was serious. But at night he felt restless, sharp, and empty at the same time. He kept checking small things on his laptop until late. He slept badly. He woke foggy. His sacred morning block became weaker and weaker. Then he made one hard decision. Work would end at 7 p.m. Not because every problem was solved, but because endless extension was damaging the next day. At 6:45, he reviewed what he completed. At 6:50, he wrote the first real task for tomorrow. At 6:55, he closed all open tabs. At 7:05, the laptop shut. After that, no business thought was allowed to become action. He could note an idea on paper if needed, but not re-enter the work world. For the first few days, this felt strange. Then it felt clean. Then it felt powerful. His sleep improved. His mornings became stronger. His anxiety dropped. His output rose. That is the secret many people miss. A stop work ritual can increase work quality because it protects recovery, and recovery protects focus. Poor minds think only in visible labor. Rich minds think in total return. This is why rest is fuel. Real rest is not doom scrolling until your eyes hurt. That is not rest. That is stimulation mixed with escape. Real rest gives something back. It lowers noise. It returns clarity. It repairs your ability to choose. This can look simple. A walk after work. A shower with no phone. Tea in silence. Light reading. Stretching. Time with family. A notebook. A quiet room. Sleep at a sane hour. These things look small, but they create wealth because they protect the builder. My friend, if your rest makes tomorrow weaker, it was not real rest. That sentence matters. A rich person does not ask only, "Did this feel good tonight?" A rich person asks, "What does this create tomorrow?" That question should guide your evenings too. Olivia changed when she saw that her late night relaxing was really just numbing. She watched random content until midnight. She called it recovery because she was tired, but the next morning she felt heavy, distracted, and slightly ashamed. Her body was in bed, but her mind never came home. So she built a rule. Screens off 1 hour before sleep. Work review on paper. Tomorrow's first task written clearly. Lights lower. One calm activity only. No arguments. No endless scrolling. No open loops. This was not dramatic. That is why it worked. Rich habits are often boring from the outside. The crowd wants a big secret. The truth is quieter. Wealth likes order. Peace likes order. Focus likes order. And now we arrive at the final major rule in this script. Leverage over labor. This idea can change the way you see every hour of your life. Most people sell time once. They do a task. They get paid. The task is done. The hour is gone forever. There is nothing wrong with honest labor. Labor is good. Labor is noble. Labor teaches discipline. But if all your hours die after one use, your future stays fragile. The wealthy ask a different question. How can this hour keep paying after I stop? That is leverage. Leverage means creating something once that gives value more than once. A teacher records one lesson, and many students can watch it. Writer creates one article, and it can bring attention for months. A business owner builds one system, and the team can use it again and again. A programmer writes one tool, and it saves hours every week. An investor places money into an asset, and time begins to work too. Leverage is when effort continues to produce after the first moment ends. Poor thinking says, "How many hours did I work?" Rich thinking says, "What did my hours create?" That is a deeper standard. Jake learned this after years of trading time directly for money. He edited one video, got paid once, then started again from zero. This kept him busy, but not free. So he began to change the design of his hours. He still worked for clients. He needed income, but he used part of his sacred morning block to build leverage. He created editing templates. He wrote repeatable client processes. He made a short guide for common fixes. Later, he began posting simple teaching content about editing mistakes beginners make. At first, this felt slower than direct labor. But later, those systems saved him time, improved his service, attracted clients, and increased his rates. 1 hour started paying twice. That is the point. Leverage does not always begin with money. It often begins with systems, skills, and assets. A skill is leverage because it raises the value of future hours. A system is leverage because it reduces repeated confusion. Content is leverage because one message can keep reaching people. Savings are leverage because they buy time and reduce fear. Reputation is leverage because trust can shorten the path to opportunity. This is why the rich love assets. Assets keep working when the body rests. Now, do not misunderstand. This is not a fantasy story. Leverage usually grows after seasons of direct labor. First you work, then you learn, then you design. Then your time starts multiplying, but it never happens if every day is only reaction. busy work, and exhaustion. You must build toward leverage on purpose. Stop. Be honest. What in your current life pays only once? What could be turned into something repeatable? What problem do you solve again and again that could become a template, a lesson, a system, a product, or a process? Look at your work carefully. Hidden leverage is often sitting inside repeated pain. Emma saw this in her teaching. She answered the same student questions every week. At first, she kept replying again and again. Then she noticed the pattern. She created a clear lesson pack for common mistakes. She recorded simple explanations. She built exercises once and reused them with small changes. The result was beautiful. Students got better support. Emma got more time. Her teaching improved. Her income became less tied to pure repetition. That is leverage over labor. In the next part, we will go deeper into this rule and bring all the time rules together. Because a calendar becomes powerful only when the rules work as one system. Reaction must fall. Building must rise. Fear must be exposed. Energy must be protected. Rest must be sacred, and leverage must be built. That is how ordinary hours become a wealth machine. We are still inside the last big rule, because this rule is where many lives change. Leverage over labor. The design of hours that keep paying after the hour ends. This is the difference between being busy and becoming free. Most people spend time like day workers of the mind. They wake up, sell attention, solve problems, answer requests, and go home empty. The day may bring money, yes, but the day leaves no machine behind. Tomorrow starts from zero again. The wealthy fear that kind of life, not because work is bad. Work is good. But a life that must always restart from zero is fragile. One illness, one crisis, one lost client, one bad month, and fear enters the room. That is why rich people ask this again and again. What am I building that remains? A template remains. A course remains. A useful video remains. A strong article remains. A process remains. A trained team remains. An investment remains. A reputation remains. A good habit remains. Even your English can become leverage. Yes, your English, because when you improve it, future learning becomes faster. Better communication can bring better work, clearer sales, stronger relationships, and more confidence. One season of disciplined study can keep paying for years. That is leverage too. So leverage is not only business language, it is life language. My friend, every strong habit is a small asset. Every weak habit is a small debt. This is why the rich protect routines. They know repeated order creates invisible wealth. Now let us make leverage practical. The first level of leverage is skill. Learn something that raises the value of your future hours. A person with rare skill can do in 1 hour what another person cannot do in 5. That is not luck. That is stored value. The second level is systems. If you repeat a task, write the steps. Simplify it. Save it. Make it easier next time. Confused people repeat pain. Builders reduce repeated pain. The third level is assets. Create things that can serve people again without full new effort each time. A lesson. A product. A tool. A piece of content. A process that another person can use. This is how time begins to stretch. Ryan saw this when he looked at his week. He was solving the same client problem again and again. Same welcome message. Same questions. Same setup. Same confusion. So he built one clean onboarding document and one short video. Small work once. Many hours saved later. That is how leverage feels in real life. Not always exciting. Not always glamorous. But powerful. The crowd often misses it because leverage starts quietly. At first, direct labor looks faster. You do the task and get the money now. Building systems can feel slow and even annoying. But later, the system pays back with calm, with speed, with consistency, with extra space to think. And space to think is a rich person's weapon. Because when your whole life is full of repeated chaos, you cannot see opportunity. You are too busy surviving your own poor design. Stop. Be honest. What do you repeat every week that should already be a system? What do you explain again and again that could become a note, a template, a video, a guide? Where do you lose energy to the same confusion? That is where leverage wants to be born. There's another form of leverage people ignore. Saying no. Yes, no is leverage. Every weak yes steals time from a stronger investment. Every unnecessary meeting, every low-value chat, every random scroll, every task you accepted without thought can block one useful hour from becoming an asset. Poor people often say yes to pressure. Rich people say yes to design. This is not cruelty. It is stewardship. You are guarding a life. Nobody is coming to save you. So you must stop spending your best hours like they are cheap. This whole script has been about one idea. The rich and the poor both have 24 hours. The difference is the architecture of those hours. One person wakes and reacts. Another wakes and leads. One protects a sacred block. Another seeks attention. One hides in busy work. Another faces the real build. One wastes strong energy on weak tasks. Another places energy where return is highest. One treats rest like guilt. Another treats rest like fuel. One sells time once. Another builds things that keep working. This is how wealth starts. Not always with a big salary. Not always with a lucky break. Often with rules. Hard rules. Quiet rules. Repeated rules. You do not need a perfect life to begin this. You need an honest one. A phone can move out of the bedroom. A 90-minute block can be protected. A fake task can be cut. A stop work ritual can begin tonight. One repeated problem can become a system this week. That is enough to start. And when you start, something beautiful happens. Time feels different. The day stops feeling like a storm. It becomes a structure. It becomes a tool. It becomes a place where identity is trained. You stop asking, where did the day go? You start saying, I gave my best hours a job. Hold that sentence close, my friend. It can rebuild a person. In the next and final part, we will close this with a direct message for the person who feels late, tired, and far behind. Because discipline is not only about money, it is also about dignity. We have reached the end, my friend. Now let us speak plainly. Maybe you feel late. Maybe you feel embarrassed. Maybe you have wasted years in reaction, noise, tiredness, and excuses. Maybe your phone knows more about your habits than your own journal. Maybe you have been busy without building. Maybe you have worked hard and still stayed afraid. Look at me with honesty in your heart. Your past waste is real. Do not lie about it. But it is not the end. The end comes only when truth arrives and you still refuse to act. That is the real danger. Not a weak past, a dishonest present. Because once you tell the truth, you can build rules. And rules can carry a tired person farther than emotion ever will. You do not need to become a different human tomorrow morning. You need to become a more honest one. Put the phone farther away. Choose the build task tonight. Protect the sacred block. Cut one fake task. Watch your energy like money. And work on purpose. Build one thing that can pay again later. Do that, and the architecture of your day begins to change. And when your day changes, your identity changes too. You stop being a reactor. You become a leader. You stop being only a consumer. You become a builder. You stop drifting. You begin to design. That shift is worth more than motivation. Motivation is a guest. Rules are family. Motivation visits. Rules stay. Motivation is loud. Rules are quiet. Motivation is loud. Rules are quiet. Motivation can begin a week. Rules can change a life. This is why wealthy people look calm from the outside. They are not always smarter. They are often more structured. They do not trust mood. They trust design. They know freedom is not created by random energy. Freedom is created by repeated order. And yes, some days you will fail. Some mornings you will react. Some evenings you will drift. Some weeks you will feel weak. Fine. Return to the rules. Never worship one bad day. Never use one mistake as a new identity. The truth is simple. A weak day does not destroy a strong system if you come back fast. Come back fast. That is maturity. That is power. And remember this sentence for the hard days because it is still true and it will always be true. Nobody is coming to save you. That sentence is not cruel. It is clean. It means your life is now in your hands. It means your hours matter. It means your future is not waiting for perfect feelings. It means small disciplined acts are enough to begin. So tonight, before you sleep, do one thing. Write tomorrow's first real build task on paper. One task. Clear. Concrete. No drama. Then protect the first 90 minutes of your day like they belong to the person you want to become. That is how wealth begins. That is how self-respect begins. That is how peace begins. You came here for English, and I hope your English is stronger now. But I also hope something deeper became stronger. Your honesty. Your standards, your willingness to stop hiding. Because language is powerful, yes, but a disciplined life gives language weight. Words sound different when they come from a person who is building. This is English Story Studio. We do not come here only to consume. We come here to grow. We come here to turn listening into action. We come here to leave drift and build structure. We come here to stop living by accident. So if this message met you at the right time, leave a comment with one action you will protect tomorrow. Not 10 actions. 1. Make it real and subscribe to English Story Studio if you want more calm truth, stronger English, and a life with better rules. Do not disappear after this video. Do not nod and then forget. Take one rule, use it, repeat it, guard it. A person who guards one strong hour every day is not small. A person who tells the truth about time is already becoming dangerous. A person who stops reacting and starts building is already leaving the crowd. And that person can be you.